By the way, there were techniques before Edward Bernays that we are warned about. In 1884, in this publication, Signs of the Times, written by Ellen G. White, it says, through the channel of mesmerism, Satan comes more directly to the people of this generation and works with that power, mesmerism, which is to characterize his efforts when? Near the close of probation. Okay, let's unpack that a little bit. First of all, what is mesmerism? That's hypnotism, right? That's direct control of the thoughts and the mind. And it says that's going to be a feature of the deceptions near the close of probation. And when is that, Bible prophecy students? When is near the close? We don't know when the close of probation is, but when is near the close of probation? That's right now. So this is a predictive statement warning us to watch out literally for control mechanisms that are called mesmerism. I think those are things Edward Bernays only could have dreamed of using. Primitive techniques and technologies that he was using that actually were highly effective. I could tell you a bunch of stories about how he changed public opinion like that with primitive 1920s technologies and methods. But here we stand in the 21st century. And this is a text on modern hypnosis written by Dr. Stephen Freitag. And in this text, it jumped out at me that the modern techniques are not the swinging of the watch in front of the eye thing so much as in the olden days, but light and sound that do the work for deep relaxation in a fraction of time of traditional methods. And he talks specifically about using frequencies of visual inputs, like a frequency of flashing light. Have you ever watched somebody watch TV? That's a good form of entertainment right there. You can give them a hard time because you see the look on their face. After they've been sitting there for a few minutes, they're like, you know what I'm talking about? And you're like, are you there? Are you awake? Like, hey. If you've ever watched somebody watch TV, not only do they have that blank, 1,000-yard stare going on like that, but the room flashes pretty fast. There's a new image on the screen every 2 seconds on average in entertainment television. And it's not forming necessarily a visual coherent narrative. It's just image after image after image that is inundating the senses. And we talked about that with the first message as being overstimulating and how that can enter into dopamine and addiction and all of that. But you know what else it does? When we're inundated with such rapid imagery in entertainment style, and the musical elements just add to that. You look at the top advertising techniques that corporate America is using, they're using that very same thing. And he's talking about light flashing actually altering brainwave frequency. Well, is it true? When you look at the graphic that somebody will come up with to illustrate this, that's kind of a eye-opening moment when you realize that may be going on. But let's explore it and see if it is. Beta waves are when your brain is in a high-frequency thinking engagement. Like right now, you're thinking through this information. You're engaged, thoughtful. Beta waves are critical thinking. Moral filter is up. Self-control is engaged. The slower brainwave frequencies like theta and delta are what happen when we sleep. That's natural and normal, even to pass through alpha on your way down into sleep. But alpha waves normally don't happen when you're just sitting awake and listening and reading and watching. It's kind of when that moral filter comes down. And people who are trying to engage in new age meditation practices are trying to do self-hypnosis, it's called, slowing the brainwave frequencies down into that alpha trance, and it puts people into sort of dreamy, light hypnotic state. This is talked about in the research. Psychophysiologist Thomas Mulholland found that after just 30 seconds of watching, this is theatrical style entertainment television, not folks viewing this online on the stream. This is not entertainment. This is not a new image flashing at you all the time with all kinds of music, and it's like overwhelming the senses, and the brain doesn't know how to make a coherent narrative out of that because, as we're going to read in the rest of the quote here, it just goes, I'm giving up. We're going down into alpha. Just sink that stuff right into the subconscious because it's not logical to me. But he found that after 30 seconds of watching that theatrical style entertainment television, the brain begins to produce alpha waves, which indicates torpid, almost comatose rates of activity. Alpha brain waves are associated with unfocused, overly receptive states of consciousness. I should note that the goal of hypnotists is to induce slow brainwave states. Alpha waves are present during the light hypnotic state used by hypnotherapists for suggestion therapy. Viewers automatically enter a trance state while watching television. So Edward Bernays really would be impressed, I think, by the technology of today to control the group mind. And maybe that's one of the reasons why society can have such dramatic and very rapid and society-wide changes on that boggle the mind if you're detached, if you're broken free from this, and you're going, no, I'm going to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Jesus Christ. I don't want to be taken captive. I don't want to be conformed. I want to be transformed. If you're in that frame of mind and you're looking at the insane culture going upside down, backward, and nonsensical on you, you're thinking, how did this happen? It's maybe starting to make a little more sense now.